May I present our second senior speaker, Robert Ryder.
Thank you. Got any extra prizes for me? Can't say I didn't try. Today, we are hearing much about the future. Lessons for the future, our potential for the future, what we must do in the future, and the often stated information that we are the future of this country, which I always found odd because who is not the future of this country? Are high school dropouts the past of America, doomed to live forever in the 1990s? I would like to remember the past, what we are leaving behind, because I do not know what will happen in the future, and I consider the past just as important. I realize that what I will remember best about high school are the little things. I will always remember the bright reflection of the chapel lights off of Dr. Simpson's head. Those cookies that they used to give out during advising groups, those were really good. The games of Foursquare, the looks on the faces of the people at the Opera Club bake sale when I told them I only give to real charities. The way that after a new issue of the Trinity Times, all the student areas look like the bedding of a hamster cage. The distinct smell of the bagel cafe. And of course, the extreme reverence for the former presidents Benjamin Harrison, Millard Fillmore, and Chester Arthur. But what is the point of all these little memories? Well, partially, they're there just to entertain. But partially, to tie us to the past, so we never forget what we're leaving behind. No one will ever be able to take away from me the fact that freshman year, Evan Roberts and I stole candy canes from the Holiday Mobile in the big stairway and ate them. That will always be a link to me to high school, freshman year. And by tying us to our past experiences, these memories can give us valuable lessons. I like to compare learning lessons to fishing. Learning a little lesson is like catching a little herring or a sardine or something. For example, this year, I learned one math class how to find the area of a figure on a polar coordinate graph using integrals. Or last year, I learned during 1-3 that choking should be avoided in playful tussling. Necks are off limits. This type of lesson I could pickle and put in a tin full of lessons. Or maybe if one's big enough, I could fry it up and make a lesson sandwich. But learning a real big lesson is like catching a whole whale, except you don't have to consider the greater environmental impact of learning a lesson. And you cannot use the oil from lessons to light lamps and lubricate machines. But my point is that they're both valuable and hard to catch. Except you are less likely to get a harpoon in the leg chasing a lesson than a whale. There are two of these big whale lessons that I've learned while at Trinity that I would like to share. The first lesson is that for every great change, there is a give and a take. Take graduation. We are losing the protecting and the sheltering of our parents. They won't be doing our laundry or paying for our food or any of that for long. But in its place, we're gaining freedom. We'll no longer be treated like children. We'll no longer have to listen to our parents sing to us at a Dr. Seuss themed party. And we will be free. From the small freedoms, like freedom to stay out past any curfew, or, I don't know, freedom to eat only McDonald's food and burritos for a month. To the grand freedoms, like freedom to make our own choices, freedom to succeed and to fail. We will become full citizens with all adult rights and responsibilities. We are also giving up, another thing we're giving up is contact with our classmates and faculty. There'll be no one who will, every time I pass them in the hall, I go, "Hey, Bobby." That's you, Ryan. There'll be no one who will eat any amount of free food, no matter how disgusting or unhealthy it is. Devin. And there'll be no one who seems to support a completely different amount of facial hair every time I see him, Mr. Pagonis. In return for giving up these close contacts, we will be finding a whole new constellation of personalities from which to gain amusement and education, however. I've learned from all the changes that I've undergone at Trinity, entering a freshman year, changing grades, etc. There is always a give and a take. And the only way to enjoy it is to simply accept the bad and rejoice in the good. Now, the second big lesson that I've learned recently at Trinity is somewhat related to civil speech. In the last French class I had, Madame Gerard made us answer a couple questions on a sheet of paper which she claims she will keep until our 10-year reunion and then show us. One of the questions was, what do you think is success? Except in French. At first, I wrote, success is fulfillment. I was very tired and didn't feel like writing in French. Then I asked myself, what is fulfillment? Contentness. What is contentness? Happiness. Then I applied the transitive property, thank you, sophomore year geometry, and came to the conclusion that success is happiness. Happiness is not just in a sort of transient, empty sense that you may feel happy when you eat ice cream, but in the more permanent, joyous sense that you feel happy because you are content with your life. The most successful people in my book are the happiest. At Trinity, I've seen that some of the high-achieving people, ones who might be called most successful, can be the least happy. And some who are not really successful by any objective measurements are incredibly content and happy. There seems to be an attitude among some people in high school that this isn't real life, this is just a test for life. And if we work really hard and suffer through high school, then we can go to a good college and then we can enjoy ourselves and live there. But this sort of reasoning is dangerous, because you can't let yourself wait to live, because it never really gets much easier after high school. If you spent these last 4 years waiting to live, then you'll probably do the same for college, and then your job. And then you might find you've waited to enjoy yourself your entire life. Instead, we must always live, always enjoy ourselves. The most successful people are the ones who can find within themselves the ability to be happy, like Sybil has. And that's I think, the most important lesson I picked up over my time at Trinity. So, look towards the future. You are the future leaders of this country, etc. But do not forget the past. Do not forget your friends, your memories, and what you have learned from them. Thank you.